Do you really believe that when you pick up a phone here that's more powerful than any computer that existed in like the 90s? Like this is more powerful than any commercial
Yeah.
computer that existed
Yeah.
in the 90s. But we believe that like for some reason the average miles per gallon in cars was going down at least until the like 2010s. I don't know if I didn't look at the stats after that. It's been a long time, but maybe it's gotten better with the Teslas. But yeah, so it's like, do we really believe that? And so how are they keeping it secret? So we talked already about the suppression in terms of like how they compartmentalize it. Why don't people speak up more? Or why don't people produce stuff? Well, if you turns out, if you watch stuff like The Lost Century by Stephen Greer, there's a shitload of people that have figured this stuff out, from Stanley Meyer and his water-powered car, which is simply, he figured out negative energy, which is manipulating gravity. And if you can figure that out, the hydrogen and oxygen's atoms just like fall apart at a lower energy cost. And now you've just cheated all of physics. There's other people that have figured out stuff like magnetic motors and how to create free energy using that. And it's all just based on the idea that space is not empty. That's the physics that allows it to be possible. So it turns out a lot of people have, and you can see what's happened to a lot of them. I'll just say, doesn't seem like that a good fate for many of them. And then the other side of it is too, is that even if you do become successful, even if you figure out a way to commercialize this science, then the government can step in at any moment, use the Invention Secrecy Act of 1951, and say that this is related to nuclear science and technology. And they probably won't say exactly that terminology, but they'll say that because they've got the laws set in place where they can just steal any invention they say is related to national security. And the Atomic Secrecy Act says if it's related to fusion or nuclear research, they can just hide it. And I think that just got so out of control, the combination of all these things, where now we've reached a point where like they hit the tech singularity behind the scenes and they just got like everything. And now we're seeing like why the increase in UFO sightings? Because most of it's us. I mean, do I think aliens exist? Sure, probably, but I don't really care. But the reason why we're seeing this stuff more and the reason why we're seeing these lights in the sky is because we figured out the science to do all this stuff now, I think.
Another, like you mentioned, the dude with the water powered car. Isn't the other problem like people were like, oh, I figured out we don't need gasoline, and that guy winds up with like 4 bullet holes in his head and like killed himself. You know, it's like, doesn't that happen?
Yeah.
Like, no one wants to do that probably.
Let me tell you one story that you'll love is that, so 1989 cold fusion fiasco. I dug into this and I'm just like, holy shit, how have they been just suppressing this stuff in the public, in the open? These guys decide they're not going to go through the peer review process. They're just going to come out straight in the open and announce they've got this technology. They think that fusion is happening using just a garage experiment where excess heat is coming out of this water. It's basically just boiling or getting really hot when they shouldn't. And they were like, where's this energy coming from? So they go public with it. All these people start reproducing it, like 60 reproductions. The Department of Energy and the MIT come in and they go like, we're going to set up this tribunal. And anybody that has positive results, we're going to go there and we're going to come up with some reason for why it's bullshit. Like, it was literally one of the examples was like, on the weekend, there's more voltage. So it was like, it was getting hotter because of this minor increase in voltage from the grid on the weekends, like shit like that. And so it worked though. It forced them to retract their results. And this guy, Eugene Malov, he was working at MIT, writing the Infinity Energy or editing the magazine. It's like basically looking for alternative energy under like Tesla type stuff. He blew the whistle. He's like, MIT fudged their numbers.